If you're feeling really stuck in your life or really down about life, and no matter how hard you try, it seems that things don't really change, there's a reason for that. And it has everything to do with the most powerful creative tool in the world, your mind. If we look around, the human mind has created everything that we see, all this man-made stuff, everything that we interact with every day, our cities, our technology, the internet, all of the innovation, everything that we use every day, it all comes from here. This creative force is undeniably incredible, and it can be used in the most powerful ways to create the life that you want. Not only technology, but it can create positivity and wellness. It can create abundance and prosperity, freedom and love. But right now, it's likely that the mind is not doing this for you. In fact, it might be doing the opposite. So what's the deal? What we need to understand is that our mind is always creating our reality. Each of us is living in a different reality. And I know that sounds kind of esoteric, maybe a little bit woo-woo, but I'm going to give you an example from my life that highlights this. When I was younger, I perceived most people in the world as a threat. To me, most people were wearing mean faces, and I believed that they had negative thoughts about me. It was hard for me to make eye contact. It was hard for me to talk to people because I thought everyone was out to get me. For me, the world was dark. It was more black and white than colorful. And to me, the world was unsafe. And because of this, I didn't much enjoy being in the world. Now let's flash to my life now. Now I look at every single person as a human. It is extremely rare. I'm talking maybe a couple times per year that I identify anyone as a threat. Everyone around me has lovely faces with rich lives that they're living. I enjoy being around people. I'm curious about people, and I see beauty in the eyes of everyone I come across. Right now, the world for me is colorful. It's light. I see opportunity everywhere I go. I see the possibility of having a rich and beautiful life. I see the possibility of abundance. Now here's the curious thing. These are two almost polar opposite realities. So what changed? Because it seems so crazy that somehow everybody in the world changed, the likelihood is that I'm the one that changed. What happened is that I changed my reality. Sit with this for a second. That's really powerful. And I want to say, it's not just me. I'm just using an anecdote because I think that it lands and it's powerful. This happens for many people around the whole world all the time. So what changed between the younger me and the current me? Well, I wiped away many stories of the world is unsafe, and I wiped away stories of self-pity and lack of worthiness. When I was young, I somehow picked up a lot of stuff. I picked up a lot of stories, a lot of core beliefs about myself and about the world around me that, quite frankly, was really negative and really hurtful for me. I believed that I was unworthy of connection, and I believed that the world was inherently bad. I also believed that everything was meaningless. And it wasn't until I started to look at the thoughts in my head that I realized that all of them were negative and fear-based. It was always something along the lines of, that person is out to get me, or dang, I suck at this. These were all stories. They were all beliefs. They weren't real. They were just things that I picked up along the way that I ended up believing. And I know that to say they're not real sounds kind of crazy, because for you, when you're in this, it feels so real. And that's the thing for me, is I didn't know they weren't real until I started to do something about it. It wasn't until I started to actually look at them, started to get some space from them, that I could see how crazy this all was. So when we have these stories and these beliefs, they act as a filter on reality. We literally only see reality through this lens, but reality is so big. And for me, this lens was dark, it was negative, it was depressive, and that reality really just sucked. So I want you to consider this. This is really important. Earlier we talked about how powerful the mind is. It has created everything around us. Now, what happens when we use that same force, that same powerful force against ourselves. If we are stuck in negativity, in unworthiness or guilt or shame, that's what we're doing, is we're using that force to reinforce these patterns of behavior and ways of seeing the world. So basically that energy that could create the most beautiful things in the world is just keeping you stuck. It's keeping you in these same patterns. And here's the thing, you don't know it. All of this is happening subconscious. If you knew it, you would stop. But the hard thing to grasp is that you are telling it to focus there. You are the one that's focusing on the negativity, on the hard stuff in life. It's not anyone else's fault, although a lot of this comes from us growing up, but it's sort of just something that we're handed, and we reinforce all of it by placing our focus on all of it. So we are creating our reality, and we're doing this all the time. And the good thing is that you can change this. You need to bring your focus elsewhere. Here's another very important thing you need to understand about the mind. The mind's job is to protect you. And when we experience fear, fear runs us. It's driving us. And so what it's doing is it's creating protection and defenses. So coming back to my own example from before, my mind wasn't just stuck in negative spirals of I'm not good enough. My mind was also in fear, and it was rationalizing the world through this lens of trying to keep me safe and in control. I was afraid, and so what did it do? It protected me. It told me bad things about other people so that I would avoid them. It didn't allow me to get close to anyone because maybe I would get hurt. When my reality was threatened, it flared up in defenses. Even when someone would challenge my negativity, it would defend my negativity because it's doing this job of protecting this very sacred thing inside of us. And that's a very important thing to understand, is we don't want to bash it. We don't want to take it down. We don't want to judge it, because it's just something inside of us that's trying to help. It's actually just kind of like an old friend, and this old friend has bad data and outdated sources. The past is living inside of you, and not just the past. It's not just the memories, but it's how we responded. It's how we interpreted everything, and it's how we learned to understand reality and make things make sense and keep us safe. But here's the thing, you're different now. You're grown now. You get to decide what you want and what you don't want. You get to decide what is safe and what is unsafe. You get to literally create a whole new perception of reality if you so choose. So what practically do we need to do? The first thing is we need to clear the mind. How do we do this? You need to begin watching all of the clutter that is in the mind space. Create a practice where you sit and you watch your thoughts for a few minutes a day. This doesn't need to be some spiritual practice. You don't need to sit cross-legged. You don't need to go to an ashram. This is a relationship between you and you. We want to watch our thoughts the way that we might watch a creek or a river flow. Not judging it, just admiring it, listening to it, and being present with it. And as we watch, we want to create separation. We want to distance ourselves from the thoughts. So if you're watching the river flow by, you are not in the river, you are not the river. The same way, you are not your thoughts. If you can create separation, then you can realize that you are actually separate from them, and that you are a human or a soul having the thought. And with this distance and space, you realize that you don't have to believe everything that it says. And now you have a relationship with it, more like there's a child inside of your head. It's rambling on and on about the day, and you just get to watch it. Your practice can start just 2 to 5 minutes every day, but you'll want to extend it to about 10 minutes, and you'll want to do this for a month or two. And you'll notice that after a month or two, you will naturally start to do this all throughout your day. You'll do it when you drive your car or you walk. You'll do it at work. You'll do it when you're with your friends. It'll just start to become this natural process that as you're doing something, you're also watching what's going on in your head. And then you will begin a process of removing the clutter. And how do we remove it? Well, basically, we stop believing everything that it tells us. When it says negative things, you just respond with, That's not true. And we can replace something better there. We can neutralize it, or we can flip it upside down. So if it's saying, I suck at this, we can actually just flip it and say, I'm learning this. It's not easy, but it's actually quite simple. You just don't feed into all of the negativity. And when there is negativity, you replace it with something that you do want. When you see it running like crazy, focus on your breath. Breathe a little bit deeper and soften your body. Feel the breathing. Feel the sensations of breathing. And as you breathe, you can also watch. And so you're doing two things at once: breathing, grounding, feeling the body. And then you'll notice a thought come in your head and it does its thing, and you watch it. Maybe you neutralize it, and then you just come back to breathing. The breath is the anchor into the new reality that you are moving forward into. This practice, with enough time, it will clear your mind. And then it's all about creation. So step 2 is to create. With a clear mind, your reality will already begin to open a bit more. You're not filtering it through this tiny little lens. You will begin to be more curious about life, more playful and more willing. Life will feel more like a playground than a jail cell. You'll go outside more. You'll see more places. You'll feel more things. You'll go to more events, and you'll meet more people. You'll realize that the things you didn't like before are actually kind of cool. And the people you didn't like before are actually kind of interesting. And now with this clear mind and a more open perception, you begin to create. What do you want? No, what do you really want? Hold that with you. Do you still just want to keep improving on yourself? Great. Keep walking in that direction. Do you want a career change? Do you want to meet a partner? Do you want to form a community? What about writing a book, or playing an instrument, or traveling? Great. You can create any of it. Put your intention toward it. Think about it often. Plan it out in intricate detail and dream, but don't only dream. Move toward it with your intention. This is your reality. You shaped a negative one. You can shape a positive one. You can shape one that has all the bells and whistles and shapes and colors that you want. It'll take time, willingness, commitment, and passion. But now you have more energy. You've freed up all of this clutter, and with this energy, direct it where you want. You got this. And I know, I'm very aware that when you hear me speak, that maybe it seems distant. Maybe it seems like, yeah, cool dude, but I got all this stuff that's not my reality, right? That's just the same stuff talking to you. So watch this stuff, pay attention to this stuff, and over time, clear it. This is the path. This is the way. Look, I wish you safe travels. I wish you a beautiful ride. If this content is helpful for you, I got more on my channel. This is actually part of a series called the Gates of Healing series. There's a playlist for it. I release a new gate every month, a new concept of healing, becoming more ourselves, coming home to ourselves. I recommend you check that out. If you want to help me out, leave a comment, let YouTube know, hey, this is some good, cool content. And thank you for watching this video. I wish you a blessed day and a good life. Adios.